Hi everyone, I'm Primorix, and this is going to be a guide for the Bastion New Game All Story Levels Speedrun. So, the kind of central rule for this category is that you're not allowed to duplicate cores, which basically means you have to play through all of the normally required story levels in order to beat the game, hence the name All Story Levels. So, to set up your controls, first of all, you're going to want to use the Mason style controls that I've highlighted here, because you actually roll faster. There's a little bug where if you're holding down the left mouse button to move and you roll while holding down left mouse button, you will roll a decent amount faster than if you're just doing a normal roll using something like WASD controls. So you want to use the mouse and keyboard controls, and you also want to set your use interact key to be something other than the mouse wheel, because you don't want to be duplicating anything in this run, so there's no need to set it on the mouse wheel. Another thing I would recommend is that you turn full screen off. And for resolution, you set a resolution that's smaller than your monitor's biggest resolution, so that you have some space outside the game window to reposition your mouse, specifically during some cutscenes, in order to set up your movement a little bit better in the Bastion. So with that, let's get started. We're going to play on normal mode, and time starts when the kid starts walking. So if you're using the auto splitter, it will do this automatically. Otherwise, you want to set a delay. It's been a while, but I think it's about a 1.1 second delay in order to get up, in order to be able to start the timer when you click to get up.
He gets up,
and you'll start the timer at 0 when the kid starts walking. So for now, we're just going to walk towards the hammer, and picking up the hammer will give you access to the roll, which we're going to be using a ton because it's a lot faster than just walking. So I'm going to go back just to demonstrate. There's about a half-second timing where once you do one roll, in about half a second you'll be able to do another roll. So you want to be timing your rolls like this instead of just mashing the button, because you can see I'm not getting perfect timing mashing the button like that. So anyway, once you get the hammer, you're going to go around these rocks, up here, and to this gas fella. You're going to kill this gas fella. You don't actually need to, but it causes you to take damage. That's going to be important right here, because once you heal after interacting with the fountain, also going to skip the Fang repeater and pick it back up. You can see these squirts have spawned very quickly. So, just to reiterate, healing at the fountain causes the squirts to spawn faster. So that's what we're doing. Killing the gas fella to take damage, it's worth it overall. And then I didn't do a great job showing it because it was happening right away, but to kill these squirts as quickly as possible, you're going to basically roll up to this area if you can, and then you're going to kill the squirt over here to the left, a squirt over here to the right, and then kind of back up a bit and fire a bunch of repeater shots. If you hold down your shield button, you can aim, auto-target the other squirts, and you should be able to take them all down. So now we're going to enter the Soul Regret. This is a pretty hard section of the game, honestly, but I'll try to show you how to get through it pretty quickly. So you start off by rolling up and shooting Rondi with the repeater. That's going to cause the shield to drop down so you can pick it up. Then you want to just kind of break some of the breakable objects around here. You want to... I'll back up here, but... there are two types of hammer swings that you can do, and I should have shown this a little earlier, but if you're moving while swinging the hammer, you do a short swing like this that only does 10 damage. And sometimes that's fine, but for this turret and for that gas fella at the start of the game, you want to be standing still so you can do one of these more powerful swings that do 15 or 20 damage. So for this guy, just walk up to him, 2 moving swings. Now for these boxes, you want to roll into them. I'll actually pause. So to kill these boxes, you want to roll into them and do 2 moving hammer swings. That does a total of 22 damage because the roll does 2 damage. They have 21 health, so that will take them out. And you're just going to kind of go as they appear, you know, get these 2 in the middle, and you're just going to kind of ignore the 2 on the right and go take out the rest as quickly as you can.
More squirts start coming out of the wood.
Now these squirts are pretty tough to do quickly, and there's some randomness in how fast they spawn. And actually what I did there, I'll point it out, is as you probably know from playing the game, you can counter an enemy's attack by blocking it at the right timing with your shield. So I did that on the green gas fella to get his health down really low. And then you're just going to do another hammer swing to kill him. And the goal of this wave is to get down to 2 enemies left, and that's enough for you to be able to leave. So I'm going to be just kind of walking around trying to kill these squirts. You can mix in some repeater shots at the end to try to take him out a little faster. And then once the window opens up, you're going to go out it.
He gets a good look at things on his way down.
So now here, right away there's going to be a wall down around here that's going to drop down. If you have really good roll timing, you can actually get down past the wall before it spawns. So I'll show that. So you can see you just barely make it under.
Good news is
Then you're going to pick up the whirlwind here. Something else I'll mention is that in most levels, including this part, Wharf District, you can't actually roll with perfect timing all the time. Because if you do, you're going to go too fast for the ground and you're going to fall. So you have to kind of wait and judge when the ground is formed up enough that it's safe to go. And this just comes with a lot of experience. I'll do my best to point out some tricks, but a lot of it is just kind of your judgment as to when it's safe to roll, based on when the ground appears to be up in front of you. You're going to roll up to these turrets, kill the first one with hammer swings, and the second one by countering his shot. Now, in the distillery, there's nothing you can do at this point, so we're just going to exit. Go to the arsenal, you have to go in here to exit. Now here especially, you have to be a little careful, but you're just going to make your way to the barge, kill this guy. It doesn't really matter if you take damage, just heal. And now we're in a bit of an auto-scroller on the way to the Bastion. You want to kill these turrets with just repeater shots and countering their shots to get a little extra experience. And now here, we're going to do the first clip of the game to get through the gate at the end of this level. So this one's going to involve the whirlwind ability that I picked up a little bit earlier. So you can see I'm gonna, I fell. You don't want to do that, especially in Wharf District. The first fall takes a little longer. But get in here, do a roll, and then I messed it up. Let me actually go back. I can use God mode to go back. Bring these guys away from me a bit. So once you're in here, do a whirlwind, aim for this like second step, and you'll get in the gate like this. And then just roll out to the left to get out. So pick up the core, and then you can just fall immediately, and you'll go to the Bastion.
Down toward the Bastion. Now the kid sees something stranger still.
Okay, so in the Bastion, you again have to be a little careful of this ground forming up. But you're just going to go straight to the monument and put the core in.
Just like that. the Bastion comes alive.
Now here you want to reposition your mouse, like pull it outside the screen and reposition it in around the bottom right, or bottom left, sorry, bottom left corner.
Can send him even farther into the wild unknown.
And this will allow you to basically roll over here, even when you're off screen, in order to get through as quickly as possible. On this foundation, you're going to build the arsenal, which is the top building. So as you get faster, you'll be able to just kind of interact, click, and build the arsenal right away. But starting out, you want to be a little more careful to actually click on the arsenal. And now there's a mechanic in this game called a text skip. And what this is a lot of times when you go to the Skyway and enter the level select screen, Rux will have something to say, and while he's talking, you are unable to travel to the next level until he's done talking. But if you carry a line, a narration line from the Bastion into the level select screen, it will prevent him from saying the line that he wants to say when you enter the level select screen. And this allows you to travel immediately to the next level. So once I pass kind of this area, I want to roll to the Skyway as quickly as possible, because he's going to start saying, "Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him." And I want to get to the Skyway before that line finishes, so that I can skip the actual narration. So I'll show what this looks like.
Kid don't know what's out there.
Just get there, and you can see I can go to the workman ward. But if I go back, if I exit the Bastion, and and I go there with no narration, I can click here, but I can't travel yet. So you want to make sure that you get that text skip. That's going to be kind of a small, like, few second time save that's going to add up over the course of the run if you get them all. So now to travel to Workman Ward, you have to click on the level and press enter. That's the fastest way to travel. Most levels you'll be able to just kind of mouse over them and spam enter to travel, but for this one, if you do that, you'll just go back to the Bastion, because the Bastion is what's selected. So, Workman Ward. It's a pretty straightforward level. You have to be careful of the ground here, but we're basically going to roll up to the cage where the core is and shoot it with the Fang Repeater as soon as possible. So,
one of these twisted streets.
Be a little careful and shoot it.
But it's locked down tight in
and now for the foreman, the gas fella foreman that's going to spawn, we're going to do a combination of stationary hammer swings and a whirlwind. So I'm going to do hammer swing, whirlwind. I actually did not press whirlwind there. And another hammer swing. Now you can stand a little ways away from the core here to pick it up. And you're just going to roll back to the Skyway. This is what makes it a really straightforward level, is a lot of the other side paths are completely optional, so we're not going to do them. And now roll up here. So you're going to roll up above the monument, because we're going to go to this foundation to build something. Put the core in, and we're going to build the distillery next. We're not going to use it yet, but it is going to be an important building. So build the distillery. I'm going to enter it. Equip Ware Whiskey. So Ware Whiskey is, as you can see, it's a spirit that gives you a guaranteed critical hit chance when you're below 33% health. So that's going to be super powerful. We're not going to use it quite yet, but it's going to speed up a lot of combat in this run. But the reason we're doing it here is for a text skip. So when I exit the distillery, Rux is going to start talking about Ware Whiskey, and that's going to allow us to get to the Skyway and hit the level select screen while he's still talking about Ware Whiskey. One thing to note, though, is that this line about Ware Whiskey only comes up once per game session. So if you make it this far in a run and you finish a run or a reset, it's actually optimal to close the game and reopen it so that you can get this line again in your next run. It's pretty annoying, but it's just something you kind of have to put up with for the sake of getting the best time you can. So I'll show that off.
Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a peppered boot heel.
And now I can travel immediately to the melting pot. So the melting pot is the first kind of auto-scroller level. There are 3 of them in the game, where this one, the way it works is you just have a bunch of waves of enemies that are going to spawn and attack you. And for the most part, whether you kill them doesn't really matter, but it does matter for like one wave in particular for the most part. So I'm going to hit the switch to start the level.
Now what could possibly go wrong?
And then you're just going to clear out these stab weeds with your hammer as best you can. You want to pick up the trip mine. That's a secret skill that places a mine on the ground and explodes when an enemy goes over it. You're going to kill a couple of these boxes with stationary hammer swings. The other 2 gas fellas you can kill with hammer and countering them. And then now we're going to get a wave of a bunch of boxes spawning, and you're going to kill those with the same roll and 2 hammers technique that we used in the Soul Regret. So that's just going to be what you're doing for a little while. You can just ignore the squirts. But this is important because you need the experience from the boxes in order to time a level up in the next wave, which is going to be 3 scumbags. So we go over here, and then once you see these 2 boxes in the top right, that's your cue that a scumbag is going to spawn right around where I'm standing now. Now what you're going to do, as soon as the scumbag spawns up at the top, place a mine to kill him, and then roll down to the bottom of the screen, because another scumbag is going to spawn there. But it's important that you wait a couple seconds after the scumbag spawns in the bottom before placing the mine. Because what you want to do is level up off killing this bottom scumbag, and then kill the scumbag in the middle of the screen with your level up explosion. So I'll try to show what that looks like here. 1 mine, wait a little while, another mine, and you see I kill him with the explosion. So that's the ideal way to get through that wave as quickly as possible. And it's okay if you don't get it, just kill the other scumbag kind of normally. And at this point, there's not a whole lot you can do to speed up the level, so just kind of kill the enemies. You do want to kill them because you want their experience for another level up timing later on. But how quickly you kill them is not going to really impact your final time. You also want to, if you can, let the enemies kill off your friendly units, the gas fellows and squirts, so that you can try to set up a damage boost at the end without being impeded by your buddies getting in the way. So it looks like they're all dead now, so I'm just going to drop some mines to kill these flame turrets. And also pick up these tonics that are on the ground, because they'll give you experience if you're at full health and full tonic capacity. And it's actually a decent amount of experience picking them up versus not picking them up, so you do want to do that. So we're coming up on the end of the level now. You can use the repeater to take out some of these guys a little more quickly. Doesn't matter too much though. So this gas fella, you're going to place a mine. There's a foreman type enemy that you're going to kill with 2 mines. And now this is important. It's not super important, but to try to save a little bit of time at the end, we're going to damage boost off of the gas fellow that spawned up there and try to get onto the barge early. So what you do is lure him down here, let him swing at you, get out of the way, let him swing at you again, roll to the core, pick it up, now let him hit you, and roll in the air. As soon as he hits you, you can start rolling in the air to recover, and you can actually make it all the way to the barge and hit the switch a little bit early. That's kind of difficult, so if you have trouble getting it, don't worry about it, just don't bother for now, but I figured I would show it because it is a little bit of a time save. So now just put the core in. We're gonna go up here. The only building we have to build is the forge. So we're gonna build the forge. And the next level is Sundown Path. Sundown Path is a really neat level because you can pretty much just roll as fast as you're able to and not have to worry about falling because the ground actually forms up very quickly. So you'll see that here. Roll with that half-second timing. And I'm coming up to a turret. I'm just going to drop a mine to kill him. I'm going to want that black tonic back to open, so I open the gate. And now here, there's a little skip you can do. If you stand like right here on the edge of the sky bridge, roll kind of straight to the left and interact really quickly after you roll. You can set yourself up to skip using this sky bridge. Like that. And then I'll just God mode over here. If you don't get that or you have trouble with it, which you very well may, it's not an easy trick by any means. Just roll to recover. I'll actually go all the way back here. So you can just roll to recover and land on this area platform and then roll this way. You're going to go up and pick up this black tonic because you do want 3. And you're just going to continue on your way. So now there's a scumbag that we want to kill to open a gate. And the strat for killing this scumbag is you want to place 3 mines and have them all go off at the same time. So basically 1 mine is going to blow up the rest and have kind of a chain reaction and kill him. But you also want to be hitting him with the hammer in between placing mines. So what that looks like is this. So you place the mine, and you're going to be kind of spamming your secret skill button while also continuing to hammer away at him to place the mines. Now we're going to get the hand grenade. This is a new secret skill, and I'll show off how it works. So first of all, there are 2 ways to throw it. So I'll actually roll through this gate. You want to position yourself a little... okay, it opened. That's weird. I guess it's not that weird. But basically, I'll show what it would look like. If you position your mouse around here a little bit to the left of the platform, you can just roll through the gate like that. Well, you can't actually see it because I didn't do it. But 2 ways to throw grenades. One is you can lob it. So if you just press it without holding down the shield button, take out a bunch of boxes like that. But if you get closer and you target with the shield, you can actually throw the grenade in a shorter arc directly at the enemy you're targeting. And both of these types of throws are going to be useful in different parts of the run. So there's no core in that level, so we're just gonna roll onto the skyway and go to Hanging Gardens, which is the next level. This is mostly just a tricky level because the ground is pretty slow to form up, so you have to be pretty careful about where and when you roll. You can roll at the start here and do a roll on the staircase, although you don't have to if you end up falling a lot there. And you're just going to kind of slow yourself down in some strategic locations. Right here, throw a grenade off screen, and that didn't work. But you know what, I'm actually gonna go back to the Bastion and show this off properly. So I was, trying to slow down to explain things, but I ended up not really showing the proper strat for that part. But basically what it is when you get to the camera locked part, you're going to throw a grenade off screen to kill that turret and open the gate early.
Calamity took everybody after all. Kids sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did.
So right here, throw the grenade, that should kill the turret. Now you can roll through that gate. Then you can just kind of roll through, you can just kind of clip through this gate pretty easily. There's not a whole lot to it, you just kind of get wedged in here, and then roll in the direction you want to go anyway. Just kind of pretend the gate's not there and it won't be. So here, there's a little bit of ground in between these tiles that you can just walk across or, you know, roll across because that's faster. But you want to take advantage of that to avoid going around. And then you're just going to be careful. This ground is pretty slow. And wedge yourself in between two of these statues, get the core, roll through the gate, and talk to Zulf to end the level.
Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this: we have to go.
And now this is where, because there's a cutscene, you want to use this to position your mouse in a good spot. So what I do is I take it off the screen to the right, position about a third up from the bottom, and bring it back into the screen. If you click outside the screen ever, it's going to stop the game, so try not to do that.
Kid and I introduce ourselves both to him and to each other.
And I'll just show you where the mouse ends up. So it ends up like right here. And then if I roll in that direction, place the core, I'm set up in the right spot so that I can roll to that foundation. At this point, what you build doesn't matter, so just build anything you want. Like, just interact and click right away, and whatever comes up, comes up. You can't get this text skip with this route to avoid waiting to go to Cinderbrick Fort, but you are going to go to Cinderbrick next, because we want to get the musket. That's going to be a much more powerful ranged weapon than the Fang Repeater, so we want to get that first. So you're going to go through these gates as they open. Kind of take sort of a middle path in here, and then hit this button and clear out these rocks and boxes so that you have a path after you get the musket. Here you're going to roll along the left edge, just waiting for the ground to form up. Right here you want to throw a targeted grenade at that turret to kill him. And now once you pick up the core, you're going to be immediately rolling around this gate. Like that. And then you just kind of continue your way up, and you're going to make your... Excuse me. Sorry, I'm not great at talking for really long periods of time like this, but anyway, in this section the ground is a little bit slow to form up, so you kind of have to be careful. Pretty slow here too, so just, you know, watch your step. And roll along the left edge here, and now we're going to clip out of the arena to avoid doing the fight. So you're gonna roll in here, and then position your mouse a little bit to the left of the stairs, do a couple rolls, and you'll get through, and just hit the skyway. That skips doing the entire fight sequence. Very convenient. So now we've got our fifth core. Just kind of the same drill, place it in, build the building, and make your way to the skyway. And we're going to go to Pith Orchard next. So here you want to be holding down left mouse button, as you can see I'm doing on the input display in the bottom left. And then just kind of spam roll to get up. And now here you just want to be careful. You want to do a musket shot here so that you break this pile of wood specifically. Like that. And then you're going to make your way up to Pith. Now the way we're going to kill Pith, this is a pretty specific strat to do basically just enough damage to kill him. is we're going to lob a grenade at him. Then we're going to wait for the cooldown and do a targeted grenade throw, and then a hammer and a close range musket shot. This is what it looks like. Lob, target, hammer, musket. I missed the musket, which is a little unfortunate, but that's the strat. Enter the shrine, hit confirm, and you just have to roll your way back. The one obstacle in your way is going to be a bunch of stab weeds that you're just going to clear with the musket, like this. And you're going to make your way back to the Skyway.
Now we can build a shrine of our
So
own.
again, there's no core, just like in Sundown Path. So you just go straight to the Skyway, and we're going to go to Langston River. This is the second auto-scroller level, but there are a few specific strats we're going to do to set things up to speed up the parts that we can speed up. And it's going to start at the very beginning pretty much, after you just kind of roll your way to the barge. So there are two goals in this part of the level. The first goal is to get as much experience as you can, just so that you can set up a level up timing in Jawson Bog. And that's just killing enemies as much as you can. And the second goal is to drink all of your health tonics. So you want to take some intentional damage. Like, I'm going to shoot this guy, let him hit me, and then heal. You have a lot of time to do this, so you don't have to drink them all right away or anything. But you do want to drink them all by the time Nelly gets stuck. And this is important because this is the first level where I'm going to be getting Were Whiskey. So you need to be at low health, and specifically you don't want to have health tonics, because if you accidentally pick one up and you're at full capacity, it will automatically heal you, and you very much do not want that. To kill these boxes. So this is going to be just kind of a safety to make sure I don't accidentally get healed by a random drop. So I'm just going to be standing here, just kind of waiting for Nelly to hit the wall. And then you're going to just roll your way over to the core. So you have to wait a little bit for this ground to form up, but then you can just roll, because all of this ground is already up. And then once we get back to the barge and hit the switch, we're going to get Were Whiskey. And the way you do that is just stand right here on the edge of the barge, like in this corner, and let these peckers just peck away at you for a little while. So, gonna let them peck me down, and then shoot them once I get Were Whiskey. You can see I'm doing critical damage to everything. And a couple birds are gonna come from up there, a couple more from down here. And there's going to be some security turrets that are going to spawn here. And the way you kill them, I'll just do it, is you target the rightmost one. You also want to get rid of this guy with a lobbed grenade, and that will lob it into the middle and kill all of them. Then you're going to get another little barge coming up over here. And once the big gas fella spawns in the middle, you want to throw a targeted grenade at him and do a musket shot. That will kill everything. Like that. And now, there's a tricky strat at the end that you can do with the peckers that you have to kill. If you do 52 damage to them with a really, really close range musket shot, you can kill them. That's pretty hard, so I'll show what it looks like for the first one. But you can also just block them with your shield and throw a grenade. So you get really close, and I actually missed it. So, good going me. Alright, so I died. I'll try to show. Alright, so the grenade doesn't actually work. But you can just block him and do damage. You can counter him. It's a little tricky to do without doing the musket strat, but I would say either counter block grenade or normal block and a Whiskey musket shot will do the job. And then you're going to hit this opening and go to Prosper Bluff. One other note about Whiskey strats is they seem pretty dangerous to go for, but when you die, you do have a chance to carry on, which means you can just get up right where you died and continue. So there's not too much risk in just going for them. My recommendation starting out, though, is that if you die, you shouldn't try to set up Whiskey again. Because then if you die a second time, you will have to go back to the start of the level, and that loses a lot of time. So you can play it a little bit safe in that respect.
Why go to Prosper Bluff?
Alright, so Prosper Bluff is a really hard level, so don't be surprised if you fall a lot. You're going to shoot that block to clear a path. Now here you just have to kind of walk until this bridge forms up. You're going to hit the switch, hit the sky bridge, and roll to recover. Now wait for the ground, and there's a strat you can do here where you hit the switch and then roll back across the bridge before it drops. So, like that. And then you can do the same thing here, hit the switch, roll back across the bridge, and then you've got a little room to roll, although not as much as what I tried to do. Here you have to do the sky bridge after you hit the switch, because the bridge drops too quickly. These tracks are ground, so you don't have to worry about falling. And now we're coming up to the hardest clips in the game, pretty much. So I'm going to do them, and then show you how to skip doing them if they're too difficult. So for the first one here, you want to stand about here in this little patch of like grass that's cutting into the wood. And then you're going to roll into this little bush behind the fire. It's a little hard to line up, but like that. And now once you're here, you can just roll pretty much straight across like that to get to the other side of the gate and get through. That's really hard to do though, so if you're having trouble, you can also go down here, hit the sky bridge. I don't know what happened there, but hit this switch and go back across the bridge, and that will open the gate. This clip is a little bit easier. You really just want to position your mouse so that your cursor shadow, or this little like bit of light, is lined up with the bottom of this vine right here. And then you're going to do 2 rolls. One sets it up. The second one will get you through. And when you do the second one, you want to... Okay, I messed it up, but... When you do the clip that's going to get you through, you want to kind of swing your mouse up so that you don't fall. Because if you just hold your mouse right here, you're probably going to fall and land back here. Which is okay, but it's not super fast. If you're having trouble with that, though, just go up here around these logs, hit this switch and the sky bridge, and that will open the gate. So you're going to pick up the journal, and now we're going to fall for Zia. So stand around here, do 2 rolls, and on the second one, swing your way off the ground, like fall, basically. And you land right here, and that saves a little bit of time over just walking to Zia. So that's a really hard level. I might have glossed over a few things, but I wanted to make sure I explained how the clips work, as well as the backups. So now, what you're going to do for this cutscene is position your mouse in the bottom center of the screen. So I'll show where it is after coming back from the cutscene.
But there was more to be done. There was one last
right around where the monument happens to be from where you spawn.
Kid surprised when I
So now we're going to go build the shrine. and head to Wild Outskirts. Wild
Wild
Outskirts is kind of a tricky level. You have a Whiskey setup. You have to kill a bunch of enemies in a very specific order, so pay attention to which enemies I'm killing in what order, because you have to copy that exactly to get it as quickly as possible. And there's a time-sensitive clip, which sounds really weird, but it's true. So to start off, you're going to roll up to a couple pincushions by the core and kill them with targeted grenades. Then you're going to hammer away at this guy, let yourself take damage, and then let these peckers give you Whiskey. Clear this bramble, shoot all the peckers. For this guy, you're going to counter, throw a grenade, and that'll take them both out. And now I'm actually going to show how to do the clip. Once you get the core, you have a limited amount of time to get this clip, so it takes some practice to get. So you're going to roll from here, roll down here, get yourself up against these rocks, like as tight as you can, and then roll in, and just roll, like, to the right. So, get yourself up against the rocks, and then you're just going to roll pretty much straight to the right. And that should get you through. So what it looks like after getting the core is that. And once the screen fades to black here, I died. Just because I aggroed the lunkhead a little early. Normally he wouldn't hit you that much, but if you... This is a good place to pause, actually. So if the screen fades out to black, and you come back and you still haven't gotten the clip, or I guess if you don't get the clip before the screen fades to black, you're going to want to go around to the left and just loop around. There is, I think, an alternate way to do the clip that is still possible after the fade out, but the way I showed you straight up won't work after the fade out. So now I'm going to get up, and now we're going to just clip through these guys. So I'm going to hold my mouse around where it is now, line it up with this bush, and you just get straight through. Hit the skyway.
He's got the final core.
So that's Wild Outskirts.
His journey's over, right?
Let's see. After this, you want to position your mouse at the top middle of the screen and bring it a little bit down. We're going to do a trick called pipe glitch here. And it basically involves falling into a hole and triggering narration at the same time. It's a little tricky to set up, but I'll try to show you the best way to do it, or at least the most consistent. So what you're going to do is do 2 rolls straight up, and on the second one you're going to stop. Press the stop button like this at the end of the roll. So let go of the mouse button so that you actually stop. And now you're just here. You want to aim for kind of the bottom of this hole. If you aim at the top, you're going to actually be stuck on the ground and not fall until after this pipe narration plays. So right here, and then as quickly as you can, put the core in. You'll be able to move afterwards, and you have to wait for this fade out to stop before you hit the skyway. That's super important. If you go to the skyway as quickly as possible, you will soft lock upon coming back from Jocelyn Bog. So you want to make sure you wait until the screen fades back in from the white before you hit the skyway. And now we're going to go to Jocelyn. So this is a really hard level. There's a really difficult Whiskey strat and actually an intentional death that you're going to take in this level. Called Zombie Kid. I'm going to do my best to show it off here. I might miss it because it's that hard. So don't worry about getting it perfectly all the time starting out. Just know that getting Whiskey and keeping it through the entirety of the level is going to save time. So you do want to go for it. But to start out, we're going to just roll as best as you can over to the core, or the shard. Cores and shards are the same item, so sometimes I'll just call shards cores. That's how you know you're a Bastion speedrunner, when you fail to differentiate between the two. So now we're going to get Whiskey off of these stink eyes in the first area and carry it all the way into the soul regret part of the dream. So the way you do that is get hit by these first two, heal for safety, and then just kind of roll around, trying to group them up as much as possible. Wait a little while to get hit by them. And then once you get Whiskey, which will be after 4 stink eye hits, kill the rest with your musket and then talk to Zia. The next area won't start until you swing your hammer, but you do want to just swing it as soon as possible. And if you time a grenade throw as the squirt is aiming at you, as he's attacking you, you can kill them all. Then hammer musket, and you can talk to Zolf and roll off. Rolling off just gives you control a little early, so you can start rolling. I actually fell there, so I had to wait a little bit longer.
Sure enough.
But we're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to hit the skyway and then roll off. And I'm going to be spamming musket once I do that. Okay, so musket, shoot, roll up. Hammer, grenade, musket on that, and then shoot this turret as soon as he pops up. That'll spawn Rondi. Now go and die to the flame turret. Now when I get up, the scene will transition and I'm able to roll. I still have control of the kid. So I'm going to fall so that I am able to roll. And then just make my way forward. This kid you can kill with a grenade, hammer, musket, grenade. And then you get up, make your way up here. And I had to explain that really quickly because it's all very time sensitive. But what I did there was a trick called Zombie Kid. So dying is just a way to give yourself control during the scene transition, and then you use that to get really far because normally you have to wait a while before getting up on the rippling walls. So, you know, try to copy that as best you can, but if you don't get the intentional death strat at the end, it's okay. Just having Whiskey is going to help a lot for that level, because I actually skipped a lot of the fighting that you have to do there normally. So now we're going to get up, get the core, roll to the final fight. Try not to get trapped by this bootlicker. I did get trapped, which is unfortunate. And now just hammer, musket, this lung blossom. And then once he finishes attacking, throw grenades at him. You should level up, and then that'll give you your grenades back. You want to use 2 grenades, no more than 2, to kill all the enemies, and then kill that guy with a targeted grenade, and you can see the skyways open, so you take it. So the idea is you kill all of the enemies, wait for the bottom pincushion to spawn, and use your last grenade as a targeted grenade to kill him. And that will open the skyway before the other pincushion has a chance to spawn. So that level was super hectic, and I might, so, you know, go back, try to review that, and definitely practice it a lot, because there's a lot going on, and it can be a really big time save if you do everything right. Alright, so now we've got shards, we're going to be upgrading buildings, and I'll actually just show the order that I'm going to upgrade them in. So, you're going to upgrade top right, top left, middle right, middle left, bottom right, bottom left. Kind of this zigzag pattern. So here, go to the Skyway, and we're going to go to Rothus Lagoon. So Rothus Lagoon has the pike weapon, which is going to be the melee weapon we're going to be using for the rest of the run. To start off, you want to get up and roll around this stuff. There's a log that drops, so try to beat that out. hammer musket the vine. Do a stationary hammer swing and a musket for that. Pick up the pike. Now we're gonna do a strat called a Queen Anne boost. So if you go into the tall grass, Queen Anne, the ankle gator, will pop out and hit you. And we're actually going to take advantage of this by rolling through the air to do some skips. Because of how high she hits you into the air. Like that.
Queen Anne. Now the kid can do the same. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of...
So you just kind of walk around in one spot of the tall grass until Queen Anne pops out. And once she pops out and hits you, you can do 3 or 4 rolls to get across a gap or go around that gate. So that's pretty important for getting through the level quickly, and it might take some practice as well. This clip is a little difficult. What I do is I want to roll basically kind of almost horizontally, and then you can go down through, and then you have to go back to the front gate in order to trigger the fight. We're going to fall if you need to get Were-Whiskey, and do not pick up the core. Do not pick up the core, or the shard. That's very important because that will heal you and make it impossible to do this quick kill. We're going to pick it up after killing Queen Anne. And the way we're going to kill Queen Anne, you have to roll over her to make her pop out. And then once she pops out of the ground, you're going to do a pike, targeted grenade, pike, musket. And that will kill her if you have Were-Whiskey. So this is what it looks like. Pick up the shard and make your way out. So again, it's pike, grenade, pike, musket. That gets you the kill. Alright, so now we're going to upgrade the forge in the top left. And we're going to head to the final auto-scroller, which is Point Lemaine.
Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city.
So we're going to start out with kind of a tricky clip. I'll do my best to explain it, and then we're just going to go straight into an auto-scroller where it doesn't really matter what you do. So you roll into this gate, roll up right, and then roll again, and kind of swing your mouse over to here. So you're kind of swinging your mouse from here to here as you roll in order to keep yourself from falling once you get through the gate. That's what makes it kind of tricky, so, you know, you'll probably fall and lose some time there occasionally, but hopefully you can get the hang of it. And now you can throw the pike in order to kill these enemies. You don't have to, strictly speaking, but I just think it's kind of nice to have them out of the way. So, if you hold down shield, you can target your pike throw. This is not really relevant information at all, but makes it easier, so I'll tell you about it anyway. But there's no, like, real benefit to killing these guys other than it's just less annoying. And now this pincushion up here, I'm gonna pike a thing that's in the way. I'm gonna walk a little closer, pike, musket, pike. And now I'm going to set up an off-screen roll. So you want to be able to roll during the camera lock to get as far up the tracks as you can. And the way you do that is you click so that you walk to like this corner and then this piece of wood and then start rolling. So right here. And I got kind of far. I slowed down a bit to try to explain it. Ian Synth actually made a video on this level, I believe, that probably explains it better. So, if you want to check out his setup for that off-screen roll, you can. Otherwise, you can basically just try to copy where I clicked. And I line it up based on the cursor's shadow rather than the actual mouse cursor, just so that I have it makes me feel like I have a little bit more control over where I'm actually going, which is nice. But whatever setup works for you is totally fine, of course. And this part is just an auto-scroller.
Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun.
So, you know, gonna kill these guys because why not? And you are going to want to set up Were Whiskey at the end, but don't worry about taking damage in the auto-scroller itself, although I did take a lot. So, just kind of clear this stuff out. And then there's a plant up here that you have to kill. And his, like, gas that he emits will give you Were Whiskey pretty easily. If you have a lot of health, you can run into this wallflower, too. And now I'm going to walk up here, throw a grenade, walk a little more forward. Once that track falls, I can roll forward. And you want to pike this plant and roll around the gate. You have to be a little careful. You basically want to roll into the gate. Don't actually try to go around it too much. Because if you try to swing too far around, you can actually soft lock this level by falling and getting placed outside of this area. So really what you're doing is you're killing the right wallflower with a Were Whiskey pike, and then you're going to immediately roll up into kind of the right side of the gate, and you should be able to get around because killing that one enemy will lower the gate as long as you do it quickly enough. But anyway, you have to click to get up here, pick up the note, and just walk over to the Skyway. And that's it for Point Lemaine.
He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things.
Alright, so now we're going to upgrade the
It ain't too late to unlock the
middle right building, which here is the memorial. And then you're just going to head to the Skyway as quickly as possible. Next level is Culford Cauldron. This is a pretty tough one. Really, all the shard levels are pretty tough, though. But this one is pretty notorious, I would say, for the ground being really annoying. So just use your best judgment when you can roll. There's a clip you can do to get through this gate. So you want to line yourself up right here. Aim horizontally so you don't... You can actually fall, like right here, if you aim too far down. And then you're just going to continue on.
As for us,
you can see I'm not rolling too much because the ground is very slow. You can roll a little bit more through there. Now use your pike to clear out some of these brambles. And you're just going to make your way up to the shard. And now you have to get back. So we're going to just walk, roll up here, roll to the sky bridge. You're going to roll up, and then here you can roll kind of just straight up to get across. You can use your pike to clear those brambles. It's not totally necessary, but it can make it a little safer, and it's not too much slower. And here what I did was I threw a grenade at these brambles over here, and I'm going to clip back through the gate. It's actually much easier to get back through. The hard part is going to be getting the clip at the start. So if you struggle and the stink eyes hit you and the gate actually lowers on its own, don't worry too much about it for now. Really just surviving the level is the important part, and that can be tough when you're not totally comfortable with the movement yet. But just use your health tonics, you know, be careful, and you'll get through. So the next level is Mount Zand. There's a very specific setup I like to use to get through this part where you can't really see where you are too well, or where the ground is. So to start off, you can do 3 rolls for free, walk a little bit, do 1 roll, walk some more, do 2 rolls, and then wait a little bit more and roll across. And now I'm just going to be going up to the shard, or the sky bridge, leading to the shard. I'm actually gonna heal here.
Look at it this
Oh,
way.
nice fall.
It's either
Nice
them
fall.
or us. But if we win, they win too.
So it's a little tricky to remember where to go. There are a lot of paths, but as long as you always go up, you'll be fine. Pick up the shard, and then roll straight to the Skyway, and you don't have to fight any of that, so we don't bother.
We'll all be better off once the Bastion
Alright,
is complete.
so now we're going to upgrade the bottom right.
The
It's a
monument's
little
getting
tricky
better.
to get this
The
tech
old
skip
shit did it.
heading into Burstone Quarry, so don't worry if you don't get it. But as long as you time your rolls pretty well, you should
Need an awful
not really
bit
have a
lost
problem.
and found under the
Like that.
circumstances.
Now here, alright, I'll start by explaining the level, but there's a skip we're going to do after the level
Imagine
that's also
everything you
important
need to build
and
the
will
city
require a
that's
bit of
in
explanation.
It takes
So you
hard
just kind
work
of
to
roll
plant
around
it,
here,
and it also takes Burstone
like
Quarry.
that.
Rattletails
There are some switches in this level that you can hit to lower the rocks, but you don't actually have to do that. Just be careful here because there's a lot of narrow ground with pin cushions that can bump you off pretty easily. It's pretty tricky, but the nice thing is for the most part you can roll pretty much as fast as you're able to and not worry too much. So now here we're going to do the lunky drop. So roll through this gate, roll up here, there's a thing you can pike, and then... Sorry. So you want to stand in close to the top left corner of this arena. And what this will do is it will cause Sir Lunky to jump over you and fall to his death. Like that. But there's a backup. So if he doesn't die and he lands just kind of on the edge of the arena, shoot him with your musket and you can drop him like that. That's actually the old strat for killing him. So now, talk to Zolf. You can either click on his dialogue option or just escape out of it. That's fine. Hit the switch once it becomes available, and go pick up the core. And now, at some point here, you want to make sure your num lock is off. That sounds really weird. Why would you care about that? But it's actually needed to do a really important trick. So... to explain, I'm actually going to pause. So, after you hit the Skyway, the Ura will invade the Bastion. Instead of being put in the Bastion, you'll be put in a special map that looks like the Bastion, but with a bunch of Ura that you have to fight off. And we want to skip that. We want to go back to the normal Bastion. So there are two ways to do this. The first way, which will definitely work, for everyone and doesn't involve menu storage, is you die to the first couple Ura twice, you restart the area, which saves the game, and then you exit to the main menu and reload, and the game puts you back in the Bastion. The other thing you can do, though, is you can see this back to the Bastion option. I'm going to store this, basically. So you want to get in range of the Skyway. You can see I can interact with the Skyway right here. And this only works on the non-legacy version of the game. So if you have to downgrade to the legacy patch to get the game to run, you unfortunately can't do this skip. And you have to do the normal invasion skip, which is documented in more detail in an any % no menu storage guide. So what you're going to do is, with numlock off, you're going to press numpad 5, and it's going to be a little loud. So what that does is it opens all the menu options simultaneously. Now I'm going to press interact to hit the Skyway, and I'm going to press escape 6 times, specifically. So, Skyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you see I have this menu stored, and I can go into the invasion. So once the invasion starts and this menu pops back up, I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to go back to the Bastion. And the Ur invasion will basically never have happened. So you can see I'm back in the Bastion. I'm able to place the shard. And that's that. no Ura invasion. This is really fast.
Finish what we started.
Now here, there's a tricky tech skip you can do. It is possible to get to the Skyway in time to get this tech skip, but definitely don't worry about it starting out, because it's super hard. You almost certainly won't get it without a lot of practice.
The arsenal's complete in case we need protection. The Ura swoop.
And now here we've got to scroll back over to Urzendra Gate right here. Click on it, press enter, and we're going to head to Urzendra. So Urzendra Gate has a pretty specific Werewhisky setup. I'll explain it. So you want to get hit by 2 Ura enemies, and you want to fall twice in places where it doesn't lose you time. So these first couple areas, you can just roll through these plants without hitting them. You want to get hit by that guy. It's not a big deal if you don't. But if you don't get hit, like I did here, when you get to this barge and hit the switch, you're going to fall. And if you didn't take damage earlier, I'm actually going to fall a second time to make up for that. And now I want one more Ura hit and one more fall. So we'll see if this guy hits me. He did. You want to fall here so that you regain control early. And then block this guy if you have Werewhisky. If you don't have Werewhisky, let him hit you so you do get Werewhisky. This will let you critical hit these rocks so that you can get through much faster. And then once you get to the Rattletails at the end, you can one-shot them with grenades as well. And I'll explain the setup for that.
But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard.
So you want to stand around the here. And now,
Too bad the Ura ain't
when Rux says front, walk over here, lob a grenade in that direction, and then you're going to listen for a Rattletail spawning up here. A little bit after he spawns, lob a grenade towards him. He'll run forward and group up with another spawning Rattletail, and you can kill them both. And that will kill the 3 Rattletails that you need in order to exit the level. Like that.
For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the Calamity left.
So,
First things
that's
first.
Urzendra Gate.
There's someone we
It's another pretty tricky level because of the Werewhisky setup, so be sure to practice it a little bit.
Fell back. No doubt planning the
Now we've
next
got to
move.
go to Zoltan's Hollow.
New hours already. There's something
This
we
is a
had
pretty
to do
fun
before
level, I
we
would
ran
say,
out of
because
that
you get to
shard.
skip pretty much everything just by clipping through gates. So to start out,
Well,
we're
now it's
going to
personal,
go
ain't
to
it?
the left of this. So I'll explain it. There's this little like kind of gate area here. You can just go to the left of this pillar.
It's personal for him.
Wait a bit,
And it's personal
roll,
for me.
roll,
The Calamity
get kind of
did
through the
something
middle of
wrong
that
with some
gate,
of them
and be
rocks.
careful
Still,
here.
They ain't used to having visitors around.
Then
We've got
roll
these
through these
conductors
rocks,
that all what's keeping
reposition
us
your mouse,
together.
get through the gate,
They even sick
wait a
little
bit, go
Rattletail
around
and
those
some
rocks, go through the right side of that gate,
By now, every Ura from here to the terminal
and then we're
must
gonna
know
go up
something.
here. This
The
clip
Ura
is pretty
ain't
tricky,
onto the barracks.
so I got through first try there
Land's not far.
by just kind of aiming my mouse around here. If you don't get it first try, you typically have to reposition your mouse to around here and get through an alternate way.
Maybe they know
Use a
something.
targeted grenade to kill that Rattletail, go through the middle of
Yes,
this
I
gate,
caused the calamity.
middle of this
Here
gate,
we are trying to fix it.
and now here we're gonna clip through part of it, roll around, and roll behind Zia here. You want to use Zia as a shield because sometimes the crossbow Ura will aggro you and shoot you, and if he kills you, it's going to cause you to have to navigate the Bastion in the dark upon returning, and you don't want to do
You had
that.
to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true.
So, I will point out that now there's a menu storage strat you can do to greatly speed up Tassel terminals, and my old tutorial goes over it, and I'll try to make a separate video explaining it. But my recommendation is that when you're starting out learning this run, you not bother with the menu storage, because it's going to make it harder to see where you're going in Tassel, and the important thing starting
Once the
out
kid
is to
gets
just
that
get
last
a
shot
feel
from
for the
Zolf,
level.
It'll all be over.
And the easiest way to do that is by being able to actually see what's going on. So
can't hear him at all anymore.
just eat the time loss starting out, and once you do it a few times and get comfortable, you can do the menu storage and save a lot of time.
The Calamity hit the Tazzle terminals.
So this first map is pretty straightforward. You're just kind of rolling along, you know, waiting for the ground as needed. Fall here to get rid of the camera lock.
There's not much left to do.
Clip through there. You want to go kind of around this arch. Go to the left of that big rock and just onto the barge. Now in the next area, we want to get Were Whiskey. We're also going to get Hopscotch, which sucks. Hopscotch is not really fun to use, but oh well, it's necessary.
All of this will just stop.
So I'll explain the Were Whiskey setup once we get to that point. You want to be at full health starting out. Doesn't matter too much though, because there's a health tonic that you can pick up right here. And now you're going to jump across here, jump here, heal, and walk off. So that, and now block this guy, let this Ura hit you, and then fall one more time. And now you have Were Whiskey, target a grenade, that Ura, and now this mini boss Ura. I'll explain the kill. I'm actually going to pause to explain this. So you want to be holding down shield the whole time to target your grenades. As soon as you get up, do a pike thrust, wait just a tiny bit, and then throw a grenade and it will target him. And then you're just going to mash grenade like your life depends on it, because it does. You have to throw this grenade pretty quickly in order to keep him from dodging and killing you. So here's what it looks like. Pike, grenade, grenade, and he's dead. You can heal here if you want, but there are a couple potions you can pick up that will auto heal you. And now I can't, it's hard to explain what you're doing here aside from just like follow the path I take along these platforms because it's the fastest. Don't fall though. That's just Hopscotch being annoying, really. And you're just gonna make your way around to the barge into the next area.
After the Bastion does its thing.
And now the next area is where you get the battering ram. If you thought Hopscotch was bad, the battering ram is even worse in terms of speed because it just makes you go really slow. But anyway, so here you're going to go straight down like this to get to the switch a little quickly. Hop across to the left switch, and I did that kind of badly. Hop down, hop over that. You can kind of clip this gate by just hopping around it, and then it opens up backwards, which is really weird. And you pick up the battering ram. So now you're going to use your secret skill as soon as you get up to this pith, and that should take out some debris there. Typically you want to walk to this spot here, use your second secret skill, and that should clear out enough stuff. It really didn't there, but I'm going to do not a secret skill, that was an accident. You want to do one of your attacks, so this is the main attack, the slam, or the secondary attack, the swipe, in order to clear out the rest of the obstacles. And now the last map is a little tricky. You don't take much damage from the Ura when you have the battering ram, but you do walk really slowly, so they have a lot of opportunity to hit you. You're going to start off with the secret skill. So use one right there. You'll get hit a little bit, but that's fine. If someone dodges it, you have to just kill them as they come back. Wait for these guys to start attacking you a little bit, then slam. There's some ground you can just walk across right here, just like this. Swipe those guys, wait a bit on this guy. I didn't wait long enough for all of them to pop up, but do a slam to take out all of those. You're gonna have to heal right here along the way, like that. Do a swipe, pick up that health tonic, that's important. Now you want to wait a little bit. This is bad. Okay. And now you're going to use another secret skill on these guys. So do that. Then you're going to heal and use your last secret skill once you get that. Once you get him to teleport away there. And now here's something you can do, is just walk to the core, ignoring these guys. And it will heal you so that you can actually survive this. Although I might not be able to. Okay. Killing the pith did the trick. And now, anyway, the reason I did that is to save a black tonic for the way out. You're going to move on. You're going to leave Zulf. That's very important. And now the way this end part works is nothing damages you, but the melee era will knock you back. So you typically want to take them out as soon as they get close to you to prevent that from happening.
Thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
And we're going to use that block tonic I saved as well. Although you can just burn it. If you just burn it to kill the two piths on the way to the shard, that's perfectly fine as well. Nothing wrong with that, certainly. So you can see I'm trying to kill these melee enemies when they pop up, just so that I don't get knocked back too much, because I'm already going really slow, so getting knocked back kind of hurts. And this isn't going great, honestly. You want to kill them with swipes as much as you can, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. Like, this guy is being a real pain. Now right here, you're gonna just walk past these guys, actually kill them. Once you get to this corner, use the secret skill if you have it. That'll kill all of these guys, allowing you to get to the end.
He reminds me of myself when I was his age.
And that's basically the end of the run. We just have to put in the final shard and pick an ending. So here you want to hold down left mouse button and be just kind of mashing your roll button so that you attempt to get up. It takes 3 tries to get up because there's just a little cutscene you have to do, kind of.
Get up, kid.
And you're gonna just hop your way over to the monument and put the shard in, and then you'll end up in the heart of the Bastion.
Funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard to the monument.
So
then we'll talk.
And time is when you pick an ending in the heart of the Bastion. So what you do here, basically you want to reposition your mouse around halfway on the right side of the screen, and you want to always be holding down left mouse button. If you always hold down left mouse button, you will never talk to Zia or Rux, because you're not clicking. So you want to talk to Zia first because you're a little bit closer.
We can tell you how to work this thing.
A, or interact, escape.
You made it.
Go to Rux, interact, escape. Go to the monument, I guess. And you pick an ending. Just pick your favorite ending. I'll do evacuation, because I like to pick evacuation, but restoration is fine too. And that's time. So that's it. Congratulations on getting through all that. And congratulations on finishing your first run, or, you know, speedy playthrough, I guess, if you're just kind of following along and not, you know, doing a run right away. But anyway, congratulations on getting through Bastion New Game all story levels, however you did it. I think it's a really cool category. There's a lot of room, not only for optimization, you know, there's a lot of room for optimization beyond the strats I showed you here, and I'll try to make more videos of more advanced tech to show some of that off, but this should give you a good starting point to finish runs pretty consistently, which is really the important thing for you to just kind of build on. You know, just playing all the levels a lot, learning the pitfalls of where you can fall, where you can roll, and just getting really consistent is going to be the key to bringing your time down. So I hope you enjoyed watching this. I certainly enjoyed making it. I love getting to teach people about this run, and I hope you got something out of it. So thanks for watching.